Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to the monthly Astro forecast for August of 2026. How is everyone doing today? Let me know in the comments where you are watching this from. We've got a lot to cover today because we're still in the aftermath of the full moon in Aquarius that was conjunct Pluto. That was a rather intense one, and we're still feeling it. For me personally, it was rather magic. If you are able to surrender towards Pluto intensity, then it could have definitely also brought you a lot of magical stuff. Hi, Ravenclaw from Kansas. So happy that you're joining us today. And of course, guys, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe here at the Jean Claude Beyond Mystic platform on YouTube. And of course, we're also streaming live on Rumble and X. If you guys would like to book in a personal astrology session, then you can find a link for that in the description box below. You can go to the Beyond Mystic consultation page and you can use Beyond Mystic to get 10% off. August is already fully booked, but I've got some spots left in September. If you guys want to know more about the eclipse season that is kicking off right now, then you can definitely also gain some more information about that in the month of September, as well as these eclipses are gonna have an implication for the next 6 months ahead. All right, you guys, here we've got it. Doom, 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 eclipse season. It's gonna be a pretty feisty one as we're having our first solar eclipse in the sign of Leo. And of course, Leo is a very positive sign. It's like a very happy sign. It's about fun, it's about creativity, it's also about romance, and it's also about like getting things born, like making stuff, being creative, just like birth the things that make you feel very, very passionate. So this is definitely gonna bring some rumblings on the world stage, as Leo is also the sign that rules over the world theatrics and a bit of drama that comes with that as well. So buckle up, grab your popcorn. This month is gonna be one that is gonna be like for the history books, and of course we're gonna dive into that more fully. And I also want to mention you guys that today I will be a little bit more quick on this monthly forecast, as of course the beautiful Elena is also going to host the Beyond Harmony show an hour after this. So I'm going to keep it short and concise, but I will give you all the information that you guys need to buckle up for the month of August. All right, let's kick it off. So this month we're actually starting with a Chiron retrograde that will happen on August the 3rd. Chiron retrograde is always about like revisiting our wounds of identity, and of course also in the sign of Taurus that it has now been like slightly dipping into. It was like a little bit of a sneak peek, and Chiron only briefly touched the sign of Taurus, and this is now like a preview that is going to happen in themes that involve money, nutrition, our body image, but also like security and self worth. It's not listed here on the slides. I've probably forgot we are still in the aftermath of Mercury retrograde, and we're still in the post shadow until the 9th of August. So the moment that Mercury enters Leo, we're also going to see the post shadow phase of Mercury getting like it's gonna disappear. So hi Evelyn from Germany, sending a lot of love back to you. And we've also got our triple fire in the chat. Hi Laura, glad to see you today. So let's look at August the 6th. That will be the day that Venus is gonna enter Libra. And this is important, you guys, because Venus is, of course, at home in the sign of Libra. So she loves to be there. But look at this slide. Look at Venus in Libra, but what she's gonna do during her transition into Libra. So she's gonna make a lot of aspects, and I'm gonna show you a little bit later in the chart because this is a special one. This is like a faded new love story that is going to start. So really look at your own chart and where you can find the sign of Libra in your own natal birth chart. That is going to tell you where this love story is going to ignite for you, and it's going to bring a lot of positivity. And I'm actually very glad that that I can be sharing this with you guys today. Hi Crypto Blonde, and we've also like um, Laura says she's gonna mess with us Libra, lol. Actually, Laura, it is good news. Venus is gonna shine bright in her own home sign, and with her making all of these beautiful aspects, that is definitely going to be so beneficial for each and every one of us. So Venus in Libra, this is going to bring more beauty, more charm. It's also very good for diplomacy, and I think the world can definitely use that right now. We're also within a Saturn retrograde in the sign of Aries that is like reviewing and relooking at all of the stuff that is connected to these ongoing conflicts. So Venus in Libra is going to add a dose of extra diplomacy. And I think that is just in time. And for the like entire collective atmosphere, she's gonna bring like more social ease and like equilibrium for us all to enjoy. So relationships are gonna become more important. Questions of balance, if it's like reciprocal, and are people like contributing in an equal kind of way? Are the compromises genuine? Or if you're like someone who is sacrificing too much, maybe you're sacrificing too much to avoid conflict, then Venus and Libra is also going to help you to restore balance within that. So very good transit for fashion design or like going to social events. It's gonna really ignite a lot of romance into the collective, and we can definitely make or like see some new collaborations being formed that can be very beneficial. I think we're also going to see a lot of political leaders making a lot of attempts at new negotiations, and we're definitely going to see new alliances being formed between either countries, organizations, or some kind of public figures. So just know that Venus is going to be going retrograde here in the sign of Libra later during this year. So at the end of the month, she's already going to start to slow down. And then she will start her retrograde motion in the sign of Scorpio back to Libra. So all of the things that are going to be ignited right now are going to see a very big evaluation during the fall for the northern hemisphere. So really think about that whenever you take some new steps within partnerships right now. So this is actually also very beneficial for finances or like contracts or new business alliances as well. It depends on where she falls in your chart. Then on the 6th of August, also, we can see Sun in Leo trying Saturn in Aries. This is a very like constructive fire aspect. Leo is the one that brings us confidence within our creative vision, and Saturn gives us then like the discipline to act on that vision. So, excellent time if you want to create a new plan or accept a new responsibility or really start to build something that is like connected to your authentic identity. So this is definitely the energy to be able to build a structure and also being able to support that. So very beneficial energy. And definitely on the world stage, we're going to see some governments and also leaders that are going to present themselves very strong, very organized, very disciplined, very capable, very mature. This is going to be a positive one for world leaders. So we're definitely going to see some new decisions in military leadership or within defense or like national security or like even new political movements with the Sun trine Saturn. That can definitely be a very big theme during this day. It wants to ignite responsible courage. So this is definitely a good one. And also know at like the end of the month, we are going to see Jupiter trining Saturn as well. So this is already a sneak peek of what the Jupiter trine Saturn is going to bring by the end of the month. This is going to be positive news, you guys. So glad to be sharing that. On August the 9th, Mercury will enter Leo. So Mercury, the sign of communication, the spoken word, writings, letters, documents, all of that is going to become a little bit more feisty, fiery, a bit louder, a bit more confident, and a whole lot more theatrical. So people are going to express themselves more fully in the Leo kind of way. Also know that Jupiter is in Leo, that it's going to amplify the positivity and the roaring of the Leo even more fully. So this is beautiful. Definitely, if you're like some kind of an artist, or if you need to be on stage for some kind of reason, then you can definitely promote your work or like advertise it in a way more light-hearted kind of way. And we're gonna see some very big announcements, you guys. Big announcements. Mercury in Leo is already big. The fact that Jupiter is there makes it even bigger. And we're also going to see a solar eclipse in that sign with Mercury and Leo as well. So this is like oh my God, new announcements are going to be delivered with like enormous confidence, even when like not all the facts are fully available or witnessable during that time. So very powerful period if you want to speak up, if you want to tap into storytelling, or if you need to do some kind of performance. That is all going to be quite feisty and fiery, and quite funny and lighthearted as well. But it can definitely also yeah, produce some kind of exaggerated headlines, very dramatic declarations. And if we're going to see some arguments and fighting going on, then that's definitely going to be driven by pride, and I would be very careful with that this month, you guys. And this is going to be the best tip that I can give you. Humbleness is going to be the key towards victory. And we're going to see some people lacking humbleness in the upcoming month. Try to look at it in a funny kind of way. Leo can be like overly optimistic with Jupiter right now, or overly like confident, and sometimes we a little bit with the south node arrogant. And we need to let go of our arrogance. We need to let go of the need to take the entire spotlight. True leaders make sure that there is room for everyone to be able to shine. So keep that in mind. Some people are going to be overly attached towards external validation. That is also something that we need to let go of. And if that's not possible, then that can lead towards a little bit of bickery from time to time. So I see a lot of more people are joining in the chat. Hi, Rachel. And we've also got Watkins Cat House. That is such a cool name. And hi, Monica. Sending a lot of love back to you to Texas. And Cree here as well. So cool to see all of you guys. All right, let's continue. So we're going to see between the 9th of August, also look, guys, between the 9th and the 11th, we also are going to see a lot of aspects between Mercury, and here we can see Mercury with making an opposition to Leo, trying to Neptune, and then on the 9th here it enters Leo, but it will like touch a lot of outer planets in the first couple of days that it enters the sign of Leo. So Mercury and Venus, they're both like gonna activate Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and they're all gonna create a very unusual kind of active configuration, you guys. And this is like so cool. We're gonna look back at the end of the year to the month of August, and we're gonna be feeling like, okay, that is when 2026 fully started. That is the time when we were able to let our hair down. That was the time after the famous Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer that made everyone like bawling their eyes out. It was a very sensitive retrograde. But now I feel like it's full force ahead. And now people are definitely gonna like gallop on their fire horse for sure with the eclipse in the sign of Leo. So it can bring like massive creative breakthroughs. A lot of like unexpected alliances are going to be formed in the month of August, and that is definitely going to be very beneficial and help you on the next leg of your journey. So yeah, you're going to see like people being more like-minded and coming together, also with the North Node now in the sign of Aquarius, and that leads towards like a lot of creative potential. And when air and fire, they are so beautifully working together right now, that can generate a lot of ideas and give a lot of people the like lacking necessary confidence to finally act on them. So have you already felt that? I, as a fire sign, have definitely been feeling that there are like a lot of sparks getting ignited, and I'm actually very happy for the month of August. Hi, Patrice. Lots of love back to you. And we've also got Pink's Sparkly Juju and Betty Moonshine. Looking forward to our reading in a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm so happy that I will get to meet you in person within the next couple of weeks during the very important eclipse portal. That is going to be so interesting. And hi, Colette. Colette says, I'm going to be 70 tomorrow, August 1st. Yay. Oh, let's all drop a happy birthday in the comments for Colette. That is going to be one hell of a solar return. That is within the eclipse portal already. But still, it's going to be very positive with Jupiter in your sign. So that is actually very, very cool. I think it's going to be right on top of your sun. This is going to be a blissful year for you, Colette. So happy birthday, my dear Leo. Let's ride, Laura says. Yeah, definitely. So, yes, happy birthday to Colette. All right. So, what else? We've, of course, like, let me show you the slide for Venus and Libra because you guys, this is going to be, oh my God, when I look at this chart and when I'm tapping into the energy, it makes me feel so romantic, so lovey-dovey. This is definitely going to be adding a lot of romantic feelings into the mix. If you're a happy single, do not be surprised if you bump into someone who's gonna sweep you off your feet, and it's gonna be a very positive one. This is definitely the start of an entire new love story, and I am actually preparing an entire video about Venus in Libra. And this is actually a slide from the preparation of my upcoming video here. I cannot wait to like talk an entire hour about this by these aspects alone because it's special, you guys. Look, we've got Venus in the first decan of Libra. She is going to sextile Mercury exact on the day of the solar eclipse, you guys. Venus is also going to trine Pluto. She's going to trine Uranus. And she's going to oppose Neptune. Like, this is boom shakalaka for love and relationships. This is actually so beautiful. The trine to Pluto can definitely, like, deepen a lot of relationships and make them feel like an unusual magnetic attraction. So this is going to be the day where a lot of powerful collaborations are going to get formed. Wow. Also with Mercury here, we see Mercury aspecting Uranus, sextiling Venus, and we see another minor trine here between Venus, Mercury, and Uranus. Can be very sudden, out of the blue, and this is so positive, you guys. I mean, very supportive for like serious diplomatic negotiations, forming these new meaningful commitments. And there's going to be a lot of decisions being made around shared values as well. So with the opposition to Neptune, be a little bit careful for rose-colored glasses. But honestly, Venus was just into the sign of Virgo. And in Virgo, she's like, with her magnifying glass, really being overly critical of their partners or potential partners. Now in Libra, that's going to be better. But now we like get into the other side of the spectrum because yeah, the pendulum swings, and when it was in Virgo it was like too critical, but now in Libra it's like overly romantic, and the opposition to Neptune can definitely be like, oh, I've met this new person and there's like nothing wrong about them, they're like an angel from the gods sent on my path. While every person has its flaws, well, it will be more difficult to notice them. But yet again, how beautiful isn't it that you're being able to form a new friendship or a new collaboration or a new relationship, not being fully able or not being overly focused on your partner's flaws. So honestly, it can be beneficial as well. So we've got someone from Malaga as well in the chat. And yeah, Colette, definitely. Yay, yay, Jupiter in Leo. That is going to be so, so cool. And Laura, thank you for reminding us to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It's like an energy exchange. So thank you guys all for doing that. So Patrice says, bring on the boom shakalaka. Yes, I cannot wait, honestly. This is going to be... We've never seen this before, you guys. This is like very unique astrology. The entire year of 2026 was very unique, but like the peak uniqueness definitely was from like, or is from the end of July until like August, and the end towards that. We're gonna see so much things like Venus is gonna ping all of these outer planets, and she has never done that before. So definitely very beautiful day. Hey, Genova. And Lioness says, a magnifying glass with Venus in Virgo. I have that natally. Well, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. And like I always crack a joke whenever I see someone with Venus in Virgo. I always say like, well, you're so picky and you're still being able to pick the wrong one. And that is so funny because like Venus isn't fall in Virgo. So sometimes by being a little bit too overly critical, we can shoot ourselves in the foot. And that energy is gonna now disappear once Venus jumps into Libra, and that is gonna be way more beneficial, honestly. But still, I love people with Venus in Virgo because I'm a Virgo rising, and it tends to create a very beautiful, loving connection because we're both kind of critical and like skepticism, definitely in regards to love, is like our middle name. So yeah, Laura, we will be in the love vibration for sure. I can already feel it coming, and I'm so ready for it. So Patrice says, I'm a Sag, so loving this fire energy. Of course, Patrice, Jupiter is in Leo. It's trining your Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're probably a Sagittarius Sun sign. This is like a once in 12-year transit. And for my Sagittarius and also Aries and also Leo, this is like it's celebrative energy. So very cool. And Lioness says you are right about picking the wrong one. Yeah, it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. But overall, your love language, Lioness, that is definitely acts of service, and it's a very beautiful love language. Laura says, my Venus is in Pisces, mine as well. Does that make me a big, sensitive puddle of love? It actually does, Laura. We are like, I can say we because I have it as well, and that is so cool. Venus and Pisces, they get a little bit lost. Like I was just talking about rose colored glasses with Venus opposing Neptune. Well, when you have Venus and Pisces natally, then your entire life is like a rose colored glasses in regards to love. And it's like so it's the energy of being in love with love, and you are very open and loving towards everyone. And sometimes that can be your downfall as well, because people can definitely try to like gain from that and abuse that a little bit. So it's very difficult sometimes, Venus and Pisces, which is going to be a bit of the energy here while she's opposing Neptune, that we need to be careful not to be overly giving and definitely be over forgiving. Over forgiving is going to lead to problems. So we still need to draw certain boundaries, but that is going to be a little bit more difficult. So amen to that, Laura, indeed. All right, so with the opposition, it can be like extraordinarily romantic, but it can make it a little bit more difficult to see people and situations like fully clearly. If you're within like the arts, or like it's like very beautiful energy here for creating music. If you're into photography, art, film, good for spirituality, for imagination as well. And people are definitely going to experience very powerful attractions. Maybe they feel as they have met someone that is very like destined to be with. Can be in a platonic friendly relationship, or within a love relationship as well. So then on August the 11th, Venus is going to trine Uranus. So this is like surprise, you didn't see this coming, but I'm going to give you some goodies in regards to love, money, and it's going to be very unexpected and coming out of the blue. So it can be an unexpected attraction or an unexpected invitation. It can also be an unexpected financial opportunity. Definitely, for example, for me, Libra is on my second house cusp, so it deals in regards to finances. So it's going to be very different for everyone depending on where Libra falls in your own chart. And this can definitely launch like a new trend within fashion or within culture, like overnight. So this can definitely also be something that we're seeing here. So Venus trine Uranus is also very good for diving into like creative collaborations through like online communities or through technology, or investing in a new tool that is going to make your life more easy and peaceful. Can definitely also be a good way of working with this energy. We then also see on August the 11th, let me return back to my slides here. Yes, this one. So on August the 11th, Mercury is going to oppose Pluto in Aquarius. So this can definitely be the most intense aspect of the month that is connected to communications. So Pluto represents power, secrecy, manipulation, and it can also be about exposure or truth coming to light. Mark your calendars, you guys. August the 11th, a day before the solar eclipse, we are going to see some kind of leaked information or some kind of revealed hidden documents. There are going to be political confrontations and some kind of important investigative, like investigation reports, revelations that are also going to be bringing forward in connection to powerful individuals. So yeah, Fauci and his Fifth Amendment, it's not going to work. So look what happens on this date with him, because in Dutch we say zwijgen is toestemming, which means keeping silent is actually confirming that what they're telling is the truth, and that could be confirmed here on this specific day. So grab your popcorn, because Fauci, he's not gonna get away with it. No, not at all. So um also, what else? Can definitely bring forth some more intense communication in your personal life, some kind of words that are being spoken to you that can definitely trigger something inside. Try to remain calm, try not to lash out. That can definitely be the case with the opposition to Pluto. But this is a fast moving aspect. On the world stage, you can definitely see some very important discussions that are going to be about censorship, AI, the data centers that are being built, and all of the wildfires that are getting ignited because of that as well. We can see some more truth within that being brought to the surface as well. Unfortunately, they are definitely setting a lot of fire. A lot of the wildfires are man-made, and they want to either build data centers or put some solar panels there, or like the fact that everything is in air and in fire ignites these wildfires even more fully. So I knew that this summer that will be a very big problem, but it's definitely frightening if you live in an area close by. So I'm sending all of my love towards you, and I'm sending a lot of protection so your houses remain safe. And it's also definitely connected to the Mercury retrograde that we had in Cancer. That also was like connected to Uranus and Gemini, and is causing a lot of disruption still. So my prayers for the people who are affected by that. Also, to continue on Mars, on Mars the 11th, on August the 11th, we are going to see Mars entering the sign of Cancer. So that is going to be a big one, as we just like had the Mercury retrograde in Cancer. And it's still, like I was mentioning, so much confusion and disruption was being brought in regards to our homeland or the house that we live in. Now Mars is going to enter in Cancer after the Mercury retrograde. So Mars, that is some planet, you guys. It ignites it even more fully. And Mars enters Cancer just just hours before like the solar eclipse, and Mars does not like to be in Cancer. No, it is like woo, it's water and fire, you guys. And what is water and fire? That creates conflict. So I know people who are born natally with Mars in Cancer. They either attract a lot of conflict, maybe through other partners, if it's in their seventh house. But if you have it in the first house, you can definitely be someone who is a little bit more passive aggressive and can definitely trigger, or like whenever you're moody, you're definitely going to express that your frustration in a kind of in a crabby kind of way. So Mars does not like to be in Cancer. This is like the energy of like, rather than like addressing conflict openly, people withdraw, become very passive aggressive, react from old emotional wounds. And this is definitely going to create a lot of tension within families and within the home. We're going to see a lot of arguments over like domestic responsibilities, fights over property, fights over the homeland, fights at the borders, because we are also going to see a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces by the end of the month. So this combination is not good, you guys. Look also what's happening in Spain at the border, and Mars is not even in Cancer, and we're not even like at the peak of the lunar eclipse. So yeah, a lot of events that are going to involve housing, borders, homeland security, even food supplies, families and how the family dynamic is being put on fire. We're going to see some issues with women and fertility, and also in regards to like national identity. It's also going to correlate with increased attention around water, storms, flooding, maritime activity, boating accidents. So extra caution if you are on the water or around water. Skip your alcohol as well. Not good. Skip all the distractions, and do not sail out with your boat under like unclear weather conditions. It can all feel a little bit weird. So Cancer is of course ruled by the moon, and Mars is also going to disturb a lot of our sleeping patterns. Or maybe if you are a female who already struggles a little bit with their hormones, then Mars in Cancer can definitely mess that up even more. So we need to tap into emotional regulation, support our hormonal system, and people are definitely going to become more reactive, and people are going to take certain events very personally, while that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. But people are going to be very, very like more walking on eggshells with Mars and Cancer. It's just like not a good position for Mars to be in. And then a day later, or like a bit later, we see the August 12th total solar eclipse in Leo. You guys, a total solar eclipse. This is very, very big, because, like in Belgium, we will see the eclipse will be up to 91%. So it will blot out most of the sun's lights. This is going to be quite special. And I remember when I was 4 years old, we saw something like this in Belgium, and this is gonna be like the final time before 2081. That will be like the next time that we're gonna see it get like fully almost eclipsed here in Belgium, and it will be full over Spain as well. And look at what's happening in Spain. So they also won the World Cup, so that is also a very important implication about that. Yes, Colette, thank you for adding that. The United States has indeed a sun in Cancer, a Mercury in Cancer. So this is indeed very important. And so that means, Colette, that Mars will be conjuncting the sun of the United States. And then after that, the Mercury, and then it will ingress into the eighth house, where it's gonna bring up a lot of issues and fights in regards to shared finances and secrets that are gonna be coming out that are connected to conflict. And yeah, it's gonna be a pretty important time here for the states here. That is definitely true. So thank you for sharing that, Colette. So, Watkins Cat House says, not looking forward to it, falls in my seventh house. Yeah, if Mars enters the seventh house, there can be some frustration with your partner as well. There can be like a temporary time when you cannot even like hear them breathe. So if you feel that, and if you have it in your seventh house, try to put in your like your earbuds and listen to some binaural beats. That is gonna help you to calm down. So, the solar eclipse, guys, it's a total one. This is gonna be big. It will last 2 minutes and I think 20 seconds. But the next eclipses, we're gonna see some. We're gonna see one that is gonna be, the totality will last like 7 minutes. That is gonna be so wild. That is for next year of 2028. It kind of slips my mind right now, but this is like a preview of the crazy solar eclipse that will happen later in the sign of Leo as well. And you guys, this is going to be, Colette says, yeah, good thing Congress going on vacation, lol. That is funny. Thank you for adding that. So if you look at the chart of the solar eclipse, buckle up, you guys. Yes, it is in the most lighthearted, fun kind of sign that there is. But with astrology, it's always something, right? And what do we see here? We can see that it's at 20 degrees. 20 degrees. It is a Scorpio degree. So yeah, still adding a lot of intensity and feistiness here of the Scorpio transformative, revealing energies here into the sign of Leo. We are going to get to know some important secrets of certain world leaders, and it's gonna be very, very, like, it's gonna be stirring up some deep, deep issues. but it has a very positive implication to transform the depth of our emotions, and it's definitely trying to bring us into like deeper contact with our inner child as well. So, if you look at the path of the eclipse, it will go over Russia, Greenland, a part of Iceland. It's going to continue through Spain, have a very big implication on the UK, on Belgium, on France. This is going to bring some rumblings, you guys. Greenland is going to become a major geopolitical topic again in my, yeah, that is what I expect here. And it's gonna bring some issues, or it's gonna give some issues in regards to that. But Leo is ruled by the sun, so the solar eclipse is within its own sign. Major, very, very, like, it has like a lot of, it adds just a lot of weight into the scale, you guys. Having a solar eclipse within a sign that is ruled over by the sun, this is big, and it's gonna be something that we are all going to be remembering quite for a long time. So Leo, that is like people who are in the center of attention or who are very prominent on the world stage. Think about presidents, monarchs, CEOs, prime ministers, celebrities, performers, people who are very, very famous, influencers. All of that belongs to Leo. So we're going to see a very big dramatic turning point surrounding all of these powerful or like highly visible figures. And we are definitely going to see a fall from grace or like someone losing their power. We're going to see a major resignation. We're going to see a very big public scandal. And we can even see like the death of a very prominent figure, you guys, because it's at the Scorpio degree, you guys, and it's an eclipse, and it's in Leo, the sign that rules over world leaders. So this is gonna change some stuff up, you guys. And with the south node here, it is definitely, if they have not been using their Leo traits in a healthy, beneficial, empowering kind of way, then now karma is gonna bite them in the ass, you guys. So prepare yourself for that, because leadership and authority, they are entering a very big period of change. And of course, the eclipse, it trines Saturn in Aries. So another major aspect that rules over leadership. And Saturn rules over the government and institutions and leaders and the rules. And yeah, so this is like, yeah, a big one. Of course, Saturn, that is about restrictions, consequences, the need to face reality about certain stuff. And Aries, that is connected to the stuff of like conflict and military actions, and if people are using their Aries fire in a beneficial kind of way. So this is gonna be some kind of attempt to control or to limit a certain conflict, and we're gonna definitely see some more restrictions that are gonna be connected to our fuel crisis. And this is gonna put some pressure on specific countries. And the trying to Saturn in our personal life can definitely help us to create more structure or to control a certain outcome after like a period of instability. That can definitely add some more like stability into the mix here, you guys. But with Jupiter and Mercury also here in Leo, Jupiter brings a lot of visibility and can bring a lot of success and a lot of fame, but that will not be the case for everybody. It depends on how well you balance the Leo sign. For some people, it can mean a very important breakthrough or a very big moment of recognition. But Jupiter, it amplifies whatever it touches, and that means that if you're too prideful, too egotistical, and then that is not going to be good news for you, honestly. And the political theatrics are going to become like larger than we have ever seen before. So and with Mercury here as well opposing Pluto, that is so much connected to secret documents or secret knowledge or everything that they have been trying to suppress, the dark arts people, that is going to get exposed or be going out in some kind of way. And because this eclipse conjuncts like a lot of Egyptian asteroids, there's definitely going to be a connection to ancient Egypt here as well. And I think towards the second Sphinx as well. And we can see a lot more, spiritual things being ignited. Why? Because we see Jupiter Jupiter is also about like wisdom and higher knowledge. And Jupiter is at the 9th degree, which is a Sagittarius degree, you guys. I am loving this eclipse. I have been looking forward to it for the past 6 months. Now it's here, and it's definitely going to be a very, very spiritual eclipse as well. With the 20 degrees, the Scorpio degree, that is going to be very transformative and very revealing and very magical, you guys. Definitely, if you are or definitely if you are being able to balance out the positive qualities of Leo. But this eclipse is gonna fall on the Pluto South Node conjunction of Putin. So for him, it could bring some very drastic rumblings, honestly. Some kind of an end. It could even be an end of power, or someone that is very important for him falling away, maybe even him falling away, although I definitely do not want to manifest that. But this is gonna be a very important one for Russia. Also for Cuba, also, of course, for Zelensky, we can even see. I honestly feel that these hidden documents or suppressed information is going to be connected to Zelensky in some kind of way. I'm going to tell you in a minute why I think that. But this also big for Spain, for Greenland as well. And in our personal lives, it's definitely also about entertainment, our leisure activities, what makes us feel happy, what is fun. And this is also about like letting our creativity get reborn. So yeah, we might also see, because it's a solar eclipse and this one plants new seeds, we might also see like the rise of a new leader. That can definitely also happen quite fast here after this one. But yeah, with the Scorpio degree, all of the visible drama of Leo, that might also be like an attempt to try to conceal the deeper layer, or like the deeper battle involving like who's really in power, who's really loyal, who is in control. Is there secrecy? Is there betrayal? So that is going to be a big one. So look at all the presidents, all of the monarchies, all of the powerful families within the dark arts people as well, like the Khazarian mafia and all of that. And it's going to be a big one for these guys, and they're not going to be able to escape their karma. Definitely not in the next 18 months with the South Node in Leo. So I'm going to do a whole eclipse video about this one as well, because there's so much to say, honestly. But let's continue here with the month of August. We've also got, of course, have I been over Mercury? No, I have not been touching upon that. Mercury is gonna sextile Uranus, and Mercury is then also gonna sextile Venus. And then a bit later, we can also see Mercury conjuncting Jupiter in Leo, and that is gonna be a fun one, you guys. This can bring like a very big announcement. This is about good news. This is about media, Mercury, Jupiter, something big that is going to be exposed about individual leaders or individual people who are very important on the world stage. Can also be about, it's good moment for traveling as well, and people are definitely going to feel way more optimistic, or maybe people are going to want to talk all day. Like honestly, sometimes I have clients that have a natal Mercury Jupiter aspect, and then sometimes the entire session I just listen at what they have to say. And I think that's sometimes very funny, because these people, they just like to talk, and they have so much wisdom, and they always have a lot to share. So Mercury conjunct Jupiter, that is definitely going to then seep through into the collective as well. So yeah, if you have something to say, you're not going to be able to hold back during this day. And we're going to see one specific leader make an enormous promise, or announce an overly ambitious plan, or some kind of celebrity can be majorly into the spotlight for some kind of reason. And there's going to be some kind of event that is going to dominate the entire public attention, and we're going to need to we're going to smile at it in some kind of way. And that is so great, Laura. Our family will be traveling at that time. You're going to have a lot to go over with one another. So that is a very good aspect to travel. Sprinkle 777 says, I'm not too sure about how I feel about life lately. Yeah, it's the aftermath of the Mercury retrograde, Sprinkle, so it's gonna get better, but I definitely understand how you are feeling. I have been feeling the same with the Mercury retrograde. So luckily, it's almost out of post shadow. That is good news, you guys. So, what else? All right, so this is so beautiful. We have Mercury conjunct Jupiter, and then 2 days later, we see the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, within a sextile of one another. This is like one of the best like windows for being social, for getting like good financial news, being lovey-dovey. It is very supportive of love and very supportive of money as well. And we might even see like famous people getting married or engaged, or like there's like a lot of celebrative or celebratory energy into the sky. Very good for like shopping or going to some kind of yeah, artistic events or entertainment industry. All of that is going to blossom under this energy. So this is definitely a good day also for mending relationships and for making some important financial decisions. Venus is all about enjoying the finer things in life, and then Jupiter is amplifying that. So pretty cool stuff this month, you guys. But then on the very same day, and there's always something like Mars in Cancer squaring Neptune in Aries, and that is gonna create a little bit confusion. Maybe we do not know which is gonna be the right action to take. People can feel like they're moving through a certain fog, and this is going to coincide with certain military actions that are going to be either unclear, deceitful, very like behind someone's backs, or like very like deceptive. And we need to be a little bit careful for misinformation about strategic military steps here. And we are also going to see maritime incidents like boats crashing, or like certain accidents that involve water as well. We might see an important storm or some kind of flooding. Be careful with chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and also contaminated water. That is something that we need to be mindful of during this time. So yeah, if you are like swimming around boats, just know that the people on the boat are going to be so confused that they're probably not going to see you swimming. So take extra precautions for that. And if you're going to drink during this day, then you're going to act very stupid, and you might even like hurt yourself or hurt someone else with being like not aware of something. So we might also see like leaks inside of the home, or like just like a lot of confusion and things that are being hidden, that are like siphoning your energy or your like life force in some kind of way. So be careful for that. If you feel a little bit more tired or overwhelmed with Mars in Cancer, that can definitely be the case while it squares Neptune. So on August the 22nd, we see the Sun conjuncting the South Node in Leo for the very first time. So that is actually a big one. It's like a portal of release and karmic. It's like a karmic bill, something that is going to be connected to the past is going to return, so that it can be witnessed more clearly in some kind of way. So again, in Leo, all of the leaders, celebrities, think about like the Epstein like case, all of that, like things that are coming up now, also with Fauci and all of that. It's gonna expose like the shadow side of Leo, like ego, entitlement, narcissism, celebrity worship. That is definitely gonna be a key theme during this day. So then on the 22nd, also we see the Sun entering into Virgo after it conjuncts the South Node, and then Virgo season kicks off. So happy birthday to all my Virgos out there. And this is going to change the atmosphere, because Virgo wants things to be practical. She wants things to be healthy, sustainable, pure. She has priestess energy. It's a totally different energy than Leo, honestly. And the attention collectively is going to shift more towards our health, our habits, employment, our pets, our like public services, like the everyday systems upon our life operates. So this is definitely like, it's like the government or certain important organizations are going to have to deal with like the practical aftermath or like the consequences of the developments that occurred by the solar eclipse. And then there's going to be some kind of new rules or new things getting administrated or something in those regards. And that is definitely going to be a very busy time for them to adapt to whatever has changed. So then we also see Mercury entering into Virgo. And then on the 27th, Mercury will make a Cazimi with the Sun in the sign of Virgo at 4 degrees. And of course, 4 degrees is a Cancer degree. So, Mercury Kazemi, that is definitely a moment of illumination. Something becomes clear, something is like being like handed to us, a piece of information, some kind of realization, missing piece of the puzzle, or something that has felt a little bit vague might become more like clear during this time. So, it's like if we're dealing with a certain problem, we can see it more clearly and then we can do something different about it. This is actually helpful energy. Then on the 27th, so at the very same day that we see a Mercury Cazimi, we see the partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. And that will be at 4 degrees, you guys. This is also an important one because this is bringing like a third and also final eclipse in a series of like 3 in the sign of Pisces. So this is the third, final, last one. Like I'm glad to be sharing this. We're getting our master degree of the universe of dealing with the sign of Pisces for the past 14 years, you guys. And Pisces, oh my God, like this is delusion, confusion, deceitfulness. Yes, it's spirituality, but you need to be very evolved to be able to fully dive into the positive qualities of Pisces. Think about think back to like September of 2024 because that is when this energy started, and now it's seeing some kind of a completion in that. So lunar eclipses are more sensitive. They bring endings. They bring revelations. It's about emotional releases, and Pisces rules over our dreams, spirituality. It's also about compassion, wholeness, but confusion is always in the mix here, you guys, and we're not being able to see things clearly. And it can be about escapism and addiction and deception. It can trigger things where situations like where like the boundaries have disappeared. And the collective theme for this one is going to be hospitals, pharmaceuticals, healthcare systems, spiritual or religious organizations. Oh my God, this can be like we're gonna see some stuff getting revealed that is gonna be connected to the church or the Vatican or some kind of religious figure or like the Pope or like this might be a big one for that section over which it's gonna rule. But it can also be about mental health, substance abuse, addiction, like the whole fentanyl crisis that is just like emerging in a whole lot of cities. Pisces also rules over our oceans, maritime events, and you guys, with the full moon lunar eclipse here in Pisces and Mars still like squaring, and Mars is still in a square sign from Neptune and also Saturn, you guys. So we're going to see a lot of issues at sea or the Strait of Hormuz and also the Red Sea that is now also being blocked. That is not going to get any better, you guys. We might see a lot of deception, a lot of misinformation, a lot of like concealed suffering, and the underdogs of society really suffering under this energy, and that is being illuminated and being brought into the collective awareness, you guys. But we already know because we have been through this axis or like this eclipse axis for the past 18 months. So it's so strongly connected to health, and this is going to be like so revealing for Fauci and his whole like gang of gangsters that have been deceiving us for so long. And this is definitely going to bring some truth and some documents and information to the surface, you guys. Something is being exposed, something is being revealed in regards to medical procedures and the deception that took place. And this is like the final eclipse in Pisces for a very, very long time. So we have been dealing with this Pisces energy, and I think a lot of people are so over it. And think like on a personal level, who's absorbing your energy, who's stealing it from you, where do you have boundaries, where are there is there stuff leaking, which relationships leave you feel exhausted, where do you need like stronger emotional and spiritual boundaries. We might all need to release something that is quietly draining our life force, and we might need to do some kind of a sacrifice in order to restore equilibrium in some kind of way. So, yeah, this is about surrendering towards what's happening, but this is definitely going to highlight immigration so much again, and all of the displaced people and the disputes around the borders, or like the situations in which like all the national or personal boundaries have become unclear. And because Pisces also rules over the ocean, we are going to see some very important developments that is connected to water, shipping, flooding, again, maritime, like marine life, maritime law, even events at sea are going to be very important. More about that later. But yeah, with Mars also, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one also if you need to be at sea for some kind of reason. And then the square, you guys, there is a square to Uranus. And honestly, I could talk an entire hour about this chart. I'll try to like go over it in a quick, concise kind of way, but the square to Uranus, that is definitely gonna be something majorly, something very big at sea that's happening, or that is gonna happen. When the north and the south node were squaring Uranus, we saw the two heavy, disastrous earthquakes in Venezuela, and Gemini rules over things being doubled. So we are going to see more than one striking, disastrous event at sea, you guys, and that might definitely be very sad. Pisces also rules over grief, loss, sadness. So yeah, more about that later. But the square to Uranus is definitely going to be something very unexpected that is going to be connected to this eclipse. So at the end of the month, we also see Mercury in Virgo square Uranus in Gemini. So yeah, that is like embedded into this eclipse, and this is definitely about disruptive news. So then also the Sun squares Uranus. Something disruptive is going to happen to a leader as well. And then we also see Jupiter and Leo trying Saturn and Aries, and that is definitely something that I quickly also want to highlight a bit more, because yeah, Jupiter trying Saturn, there's so much stuff that needs to be said about this, you guys. Oh my god, this is like connected to Jupiter is about growth and confidence and vision in the sign of Leo, and then Saturn, that is about commitment, discipline, and structure. They are in a harmonious trine, so there is a possibility of like expansion, and that happening in a sustainable kind of way. And this is like the first in a series of stabilizing trines that will continue to develop all the way into 2027. So this is very good for like bringing in a new foundation, or to build or plan something new that can grow, and it's going to be sustainable growth, which is very important. We are now seeing the first trine. We're going to see a second trine in April and a third trine in July of 2027. So this is like a building phase, and it's actually very beneficial because they are in a harmonious trine. So for ourselves on a personal level, this can be very good for like building a new foundation. For like Jupiter is going to expand while Saturn is going to regulate, and Saturn is of course also the planet that is a very big influence for the government. So think about like the rules, governments, institutions, laws, economic restructuring, all of the systems that shape our life, and that we need to like follow certain rules. that is getting amplified. We are going to see new laws being like new laws, new rules are all going to be implemented. And I see a lot of astrologers being hyper excited about this one. But if you look back at the synodic cycle of these two bad boys, then I do not know if it's going to be such a positive news, honestly. Why is that? If we look back at the start of this cycle, that was Jupiter conjunct Saturn in the sign of Capricorn during 2020. So that happened actually in December of 2020. So you guys, that was the start of like the whole bureaucracy, all of the new rules being implemented, the QR code that became mandatory. So yeah, John says bureaucrats be gone. Yeah. And you guys, it's an effortless trying. So it's like gonna come by itself. It's not gonna face a lot of resistance. This is connected to technology, digital networks, and like Klaus Schwab, his wet dream of systems of governance and all of that. That's like the best way that I can put it. And sorry for my blunt language here, but unfortunately it's also like connected to yeah, when the injection started and when the QR code started and when even the pandemic 3D got into force. That was actually during a square of Jupiter and Saturn that we saw in 2024 2025 when they had a lot of issues pushing that through. So it's going to be connected to new systems of control and governance and biometric data and all of that weird. I was gonna curse, but I need to be careful here with my Aries mouth. But yeah, this is gonna be like a next step into that direction. Do not freak out when I say that, you guys, because now it's going to get installed, but in 2030, we're going to see an opposition between Saturn and Jupiter, and then all the things that are now going to come into our reality are going to face opposition in 2030. So Klaus Schwab, his Agenda 2030 is going to receive opposition during that time. So I think that is why they're now going to try to push things through, but they're not going to be here to stay. So do not freak out. It's going to be a short period in time, but we know that they like to do that. So yeah, it's not gonna stay like this for sure. um to end the collective energy, I just quickly also want to mention that Venus in Libra is gonna enter her pre-shadow like phase when she's gonna go retrograde into that sign. So Venus is gonna start to slow down, and we're gonna like feel those effects. She's gonna revisit all of that, but I already kind of touched upon that during the beginning. And Mars is also starting then to square Saturn on top of all of everything that is going, and then we can feel like we hit a kind of wall in the collective because Saturn is gonna impose some kind of restriction that is gonna come in into the first 2 weeks of September, but more on that later, of course. So, you guys, look, Elena is gonna be bringing such beautiful 8 week guided meditation journey to you guys, and she's gonna help you to cultivate a deeper connection with abundance, and by setting your intentions in the correct kind of way, and to find more inner peace. So, yeah, with all of the rumblings, definitely by the end of August, it's gonna be very necessary to tap into meditation and to be grounding ourselves more fully through this important portal of change. So you can go to the Beyond Mystic Academy and you can use Abundance 10 to get 10% off. And while we're at it, you can definitely pair Elena's beautiful meditation journey with the Abundance Pyramid of Carla for a deeper energetic experience. So she is now giving you 30% off, and that will be on the Abundance Pyramid and also the Abundance Crystal set. So definitely with the sign of Leo, which also rules over the stock market, but also over gold, and all of that is getting eclipsed, it's going to be very useful to have some crystals that are going to help you with the abundance. All right, let me pull a card for the collective before we very quickly are going to touch upon each of the 12 signs. And thank you, Laura, for sharing the links into the chat. So if you guys want to check out the promo, then you can definitely click on the links that Laura is providing for you guys in the chat. Thank you, Laura. You're such a sweetheart. All right, let's look at what Spirit wants to say for the month of August and where we can focus more on for the entire collective. Oh my god. Bird mysteries. That is so wild and so cool, you guys, because Leo is the sign that rules over birth. It's like birthing a new creative project, birthing an attraction, or like an actual child, children. That is also connected to Leo. So we're going to see a lot of stuff and hidden, like things being like again revealed that it's connected to children. But like for our personal life, it is, what are you being called to create? It's creativity. So birth something new. It's gonna be a whole new start. And it's definitely also about letting our hair down and tapping into our creative abilities. And that is gonna get ignited. So a very good time for having fun. I think the more we're gonna let our hair down and the more that we're gonna dive into new passions, new hobbies, the more new things are gonna get birthed by themselves. So make enough time for fun. Sometimes the most important like insights or things like breakthroughs are happening actually when we are chilled out, laid back, when we are within like equilibrium within ourselves. So that is definitely something to be focusing on in the month ahead. So let me just change my slides. So here we're gonna go quickly over the 12 signs. So let's start with my Aries sun, moon, or rising. You're gonna have a solar eclipse in Leo in your fifth house. This one is gonna trine your sun, moon, or rising, you guys. This is gonna be a lot of good news. This is triggering everything in regards to children. You might even get pregnant. You might birth a new creative passion or discover a new hobby. Very beautiful for romance. And this is definitely making you feel like genuinely alive. Like, listen to what makes your heart sing. Look at what made you happy when you were a child. You're gonna discover a new hobby. It's also perfect for starting a new business that is actually based on your talents. Some of you are going to experience a new romantic connection, and some of you are definitely going to be receiving important news involving like pregnancies or children, or some of you are going to have some very hot feisty nights. That can definitely be the case with this solar eclipse. And then Jupiter is amplifying all of it. And if it's not that, then the south node there, accompanied by the eclipse, there might be for some of you some kind of need to release an outdated way of how you look at dating, or like how you look at creating stuff, or like how you seek attention. And I'm so glad that Linus says bird resonates. If it's not your own actual birth, it can be your children that are telling you that they're pregnant. It can also be about grandchildren here. And Laura says, holy moly. Yes, Laura, this is going to be such a good one for us. I'm looking forward to it. And hi, we've got Lena's Matrix here as well. Thank you so much. It's gonna get spicy for us Aries. That is definitely gonna be the case. So buckle up, be careful if you do not want to become pregnant. Take your precautions because it's gonna be necessary. But overall, just like let the creative juices flow in whatever way you would like to. That is definitely going to be a whole lot of fun. And with Jupiter in the fifth, that is expanding your creative confidence like massively. And it really encourages you to have more confidence, to go after the things that you desire, to take your talents to like and amplify your talents more, and happiness, passions are all being amplified. And look, you guys, Venus is in the seventh house at the same time. Oh, some of my Aries are gonna meet the love of their life during this energy, and I'm like not over exaggerating. John says pregnant with a question mark. I am not pregnant, no. If you were asking that to me, nope, not pregnant. But overall, this is definitely a very good energy. If you want to create a baby, then this is your moment. Like this is like a green light of the universe. So yeah, make sure to enjoy that feisty fiery energy, and it's like an effortless trine, you guys. This is like so cool. The only thing is here, Mars is going to be entering your fourth house. Mars is your chart ruler. When it's in the fourth house of family and it's squaring your sun, moon, or rising, the passion is either going to be off the charts. You're going to need to channel certain sexual frustration. That can also be the case. But Mars in the fourth house can definitely give some frustration with family, honestly. It can definitely make you feel very emotionally charged. And if it squares your sun, moon, or rising, then you can be very pissed off without an actual reason. So tap into the fifth house energy of having a lot of fun. If you then look at the lunar eclipse for you, then this one falls in the 12th house. So, Patrice, you guys are like super excited, but no, I'm actually not looking to create a baby, you guys, but I'm actually happy that you're also excited about that. Honestly, I already have a lot of work with myself, so no, a baby is gonna be hands full in my imagination. Have a lot of respect for all the mamas out there, but who knows? And time will tell. Also, the lunar eclipse here in your 12th house, that is definitely very big emotional culmination that is connected to rest, mental health, spirituality, hidden patterns, and this is like about closure, you guys. So this is like like a major emotional release, and some of you are gonna let go of an addiction, of some fears, coping mechanisms, self-sabotaging behavior, and being able to finally release that. Or there might have been some private burdens, like things behind the scenes that have been quietly draining you, are going to be able to release that energy. Very beautiful, you guys. And honestly, with the eclipse squaring Uranus in your third house, there might be some very big unexpected news. Either a revelation, or like a very revealing conversation, or a sudden realization, something that could change your entire mind around. So if you feel more tired, more emotionally sensitive, know that it's normal, but it can be very, very beautiful and spiritual, as this is definitely gonna be like divine intervention, and you're gonna have a lot of synchronicities. So do not be afraid to follow them if they are like being shown to you, the signs of the universe. Profound messages through dreams as well can be a very big spiritual awakening, or like the culmination of the past 2 years, or of going through a spiritual awakening. So good luck, Aries. We have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, my dear Taurus. The solar eclipse will be falling into your fourth house. So, your fourth house, that is, of course, connected to your home, your family, property, your roots, your ancestral lineage, your emotional security. So, honestly, Taurus, you can actually also move, or your family is getting expanded. You're also one of the signs that can get pregnant, or someone within your family can get engaged, or like married, or a lot of festivities within the family, or either your children are creating children. That is also very applicable here, because you have Leo on the fourth house cusp. So this is actually very powerful for moving, renovating, changing something within your living arrangements, or making certain decisions that involve property or real estate. So you might definitely also welcome in a new family member. Maybe your daughter or son are going to tell you that they have a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend, or maybe they're going to tell you that they're going to start creating a family of their own. So that is definitely beautiful. Jupiter expands your fourth house of family. Some of you are definitely going to release old family dynamics as well, and cut through certain ancestral curses or certain burdens from the family that is no longer necessary, and that you will not be continuing to like pass on within your lineage. So very powerful time, you guys. Your chart ruler Libra, your chart ruler Venus is in Libra, my dear Taurus. It's in the sixth house, creating a lot of momentum. Look, like there is a very big kite pattern also going on during the solar eclipse. This is like gonna like, for everyone, this is like Upstay. And how do you say upstay in English? It's like a launch into the air. It's very positive, you guys. For you, the positivity is being fueled into your family dynamics. But then Venus in the sixth house wants to make your daily routines more enjoyable and more easy, make your schedule feel more like balanced, good for your work and your work surroundings for sure. So then if you look at the lunar eclipse for Taurus, then the lunar eclipse will be falling into your 11th house. So that is the house of friendships, communities, your audience. Can also be about collaborations and your long-term dreams. So it's definitely going to bring some kind of conclusion in one of your friendships or your involvement with like a particular group of people. And mostly it's about like-minded people, and maybe you're going to realize that you're no longer like-minded. That can be the case. Maybe you're missing the deeper emotional connection, and you're going to let go of people who are not fully like spiritually open to you. Can also be like an important turning point or culmination within a long-term goal or vision. And it squares Uranus in your second house. There can be like a sudden financial development that is going to be very decide. Like it's going to let you decide that some friendships are either costing you too much money, too much time, too much energy. That can be the case. But also it can bring a dream to fruition, because Jupiter is in your fourth house, and Jupiter is actually the ruler of this eclipse in Pisces. So maybe you're gonna announce something important towards your friend groups that is connected to your family. That can also be the case. So good luck, my dear Taurus. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have the solar eclipse in Leo in your third house, which is, by the way, the traditional Gemini house. Very cool for you guys. It's going to sextile your Sun, Moon, or Rising, and it's like in fire, and you are air. Fire and air, they ignite one another. So this is going to be a very busy time for you, Gemini. The third house is where we communicate, where we're being busy. It's our local environment. Can be something with siblings that comes up, with your neighbors, or either like a short road trip. That can also be the case, but you're gonna be very, very busy. Use your voice, launch a podcast, look at your website, study a new course, make like an email list. Something in regards to that can be very beneficial and helping you forward in life. So you're gonna get some very important news that is gonna open up an unexpected door. And you might feel like within your local environment that you meet the right person at like the right time. So this is definitely also going to bring a lot of changes for your siblings. Maybe even the neighbors are changing. You get new neighbors, maybe you buy a new car, something shifts within your local environment or while you're being on the road. So definitely also very positive for you. All of the traditional Gemini traits are being eclipsed here for you while you are a Gemini. Oh, I think your phone is going to explode. Make time to unwind for your mind, to calm down. That's going to be necessary. Because your chart ruler, Mercury, is also in the third house. Very big emphasis on technological devices, web browsers, like your computer, AI, new tools, automation to make your life more easy. That can definitely be a very big focus for you. And if you launch a website under this energy, then that is going to see a lot of expansion for you, or bring a lot of expansion. And with Mercury in the third house, it's going to be blah, 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 blah for a very long time. So make sure to take in some rest as well. We then look at the lunar eclipse for you, my dear Gemini, and that will be in your 10th house of career. 10th house is also about your reputation, your leadership, and your public direction. It's at the top of the chart, so it's very publicly visible for other people. So this is like a culmination within the workforce, within your career. Maybe you even change entire fields of career. Maybe you're going to leave a certain position. Maybe you're going to receive a lot of public recognition, or maybe you're also going to realize that a certain job no longer is within your interest, honestly. So, because it squares you from the first house, we have Uranus in your sign in the first house. This is definitely like a very big change within your identity or within how people see you. This is definitely like it's like you are changing massively, and with that also now comes the fact that your career must change alongside you. So sudden announcements, unexpected opportunities, surprising shifts within your career, or maybe your boss is leaving. That can also be the case. Maybe you have something with father that comes up. That can also happen under this energy. Some kind of authority figure, a manager, a parent, a public appearance, like something connected to that. Like these are like very destined changes within that. Just know that your career is definitely reaching a very big turning point. So good luck, Gemini. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have the solar eclipse in Leo within your second house of finances. Can be about very big positive news for you guys, as it triggers your income, your possessions, your self worth, your skills and talents, and also what you personally value. So this is a powerful new financial chapter. So you might receive a new offer, or like a job offer, or like you might add a new stream of income. Maybe you're going to increase your prices. Maybe you will start earning more money through your own creative talents. And with Jupiter in the second, this is like a lot of potential for financial growth. And Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter after the eclipse. You're gonna receive some kind of good news in regards to either a payment or a contract or a purchase or some kind of business opportunity. So your financial stuff can definitely expand, but yeah, make sure that you have enough of time to do all of them, because I think there's going to be many options or many opportunities to increase your wealth. And of course, Cancer, you are ruled over by the moon. So the moon, there is a solar eclipse, very important in direct connection to you, because the moon is, of course, also in the second house. But also know that Mars enters your sign. You're going to be a little bit more like you can attract a little bit more injuries during this time. Be careful. Do not be too wild. Do not take too big of a risk with your body or what you're doing. Can even actually attract aggressive tendencies from men also. So if you are a very soft Cancer rising and you notice that men are a little bit more like feisty towards you than, or maybe you towards them, that can also be the case, can actually be beneficial. If you're too shy, then Mars is going to help you to gain more strength, have more power, be more energized. Can actually also be very beneficial, but it's definitely going to trigger some passive aggressiveness as well. So the lunar eclipse for you will happen in your ninth house, and that is the house of travel, education, publishing, marketing, spirituality, and also what you believe is possible. If you're connected to some kind of like law and legality, if you are within a legal case or wrapped up within that, you might see an ending in that. You might also complete a course. If you like go to university, you might complete something. Maybe you want to publish a certain project or market something. And if it's not that, then you're going to probably make an important journey that is going to be very like energetically, emotionally releasing a lot of blocks in what you thought was possible for you. So, a belief, yeah, like certain beliefs, ninth house that you've carried for a lot of time might finally be released. And you're definitely going to experience like a spiritual blossoming under this energy. And there might be like unexpected information because it squares Uranus in your 12th house. Something unexpected is going to like be brought to you, a missing piece of the puzzle that is going to change your worldview. And there might be a little bit of a challenge in the beginning, but you're going to realize that your truth has now shifted. So that is actually positive. So yeah, release your limiting beliefs. That is going to be so well to work with this energy in this kind of way, and do not let fear stop you in any kind of way. Good luck, Cancer. We have the stars of today's monthly forecast, you guys. We've got Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right. The total oh my god, the total solar eclipse is going to happen for you on August the 12th in your sign. So, this is activating everything for you: how you are as a person, who you live with together, the fourth house, who you are married to or who you are within a relationship with. It's also going to trigger your 10th house of career. Your whole foundation is being triggered because all of the angular houses are going to be at play. So there is a lot of stuff that is going to change for you, my dear Leo. You are having a whole new start within your identity, how you present yourself to the world. So, of course, that is going to have an effect on your family dynamics and your partnerships dynamics and what you do as a career as well. So, you this is like the start of an 18-month period of reinvention. You are probably in the next 18 months going to change your appearance, your priorities, your goals, your ambitions, the way how you present yourself to the world. So you're going to become even more confident, more visible, more attractive, more adventurous. And if you launch something right now, a new personal project, pursue a new dream, share another side of yourself, then that is going to be welcomed with open arms. So, of course, your chart ruler is, of course, the sun. So, this is like of uttermost importance, having a solar eclipse within your sign. This is a very profound personal reset. And it's definitely going to help you also with more maturity. You might commit to something new. Is that a spiritual path or a spiritual journey or a course or whatever it is? There is a new direction in your life and things are being turned around. Especially your relationships are also going to improve because you kind of become more comfortable with yourself. And then Pluto in the seventh, it continues to transform your partnerships, you guys. And Mars in the 12th, that is like the only thing that I would be a bit wary about is that you can have a little bit more of like nightmares. Mars in the 12th can definitely stir up some things from the subconscious. So maybe Mars is going to give you the power to cut through the confusion, to cut and sever ties with self sabotaging behavior. And by being too dramatic from time to time or to be too external validation must be released and Mars or like depending too much on external validation and Mars is going to help you but it might come with some ups and downs with them so yeah, that is definitely going to be the case for you. So yeah, a whole new start. It's definitely yeah, just in Mars in the 12th, it can be a little bit challenging. It can disturb your sleep. It can increase like hidden frustrations, or it might reveal something or someone that does not have the best interest at heart for you. The 12th house are hidden enemies with the solar eclipse in your sign. Protect your energy, avoid sharing everything, every plan, every detail before it's ready. Some kind of hidden enemy behind the scenes might try to stop your personal reinvention. Now that you know that, that is not going to work. All right. So if we then look at this, the lunar eclipse for you guys, then that happens in the eighth house. This is a very deep and intense house, you guys. The eighth house is about mixing, merging with others, shared finances, intimacy, depth, grief, psychological transformation. So this is bringing very big, like financial matters, also coming to some kind of conclusion. You might repay a debt or pay off a certain debt. You might divide possessions. Some of you are going to split up, and it's like if that doesn't resonate for you, these are general predictions. Not every Leo is gonna like split it up, but the final lunar eclipse and Pisces in the eighth might definitely be like the wrap up of a long term relationship and dividing all of the assets. And it might be unexpectedly. And for most of you, it won't be unexpectedly happening because the energy has been lingering for the past 2 years. And now you might like part ways with one another. Or if it's not that, then you and your partner are gonna have to figure out certain like shared expenses or maybe issues that involve taxes or maybe insurances or inheritances. That can definitely be like your mortgage, spousal support. That can all be coming up, but it can also expose like an unhealthy attachment, certain obsessions, certain emotional patterns that you can overcome here also. So this is like a psychological rebirth as well. So it can be rather intense. And because it squares the 11th house, which Uranus there, then it might definitely also reveal something of a certain friend. And certain friends could like unexpectedly affect your financial plans. Be very, very cautious about lending or investing in like communities or friend groups or certain combined projects without fully understanding the risks, because there might be something not completely clear and you might lose money because of that. So do not do that, or be very careful with that. Good luck, my dear Leo. We have Virgo, Sun, and Moon rising. You're gonna have the solar eclipse in Leo in your 12th house. This is gonna put such a big spotlight on the house of dreams, spirituality, solitude, subconscious patterns, self sabotaging behavior, stuff that is happening behind the scenes that even you are not fully aware of. This is divine intervention, and this is going to be filled with synchronicities. And this is actually triggering a quiet internal chapter. You're going to feel way more called to withdraw, to like unwind from the noise, to rest, to work on something very private before revealing it to the world. Very beneficial for implementing new spiritual practices, or you might see a lot of progress, or like, yeah, a lot of progress within your therapeutic process if you're within that. Other than that, it could definitely ignite your intuition, make you more psychic. You're gonna become way more sensitive. This is like your sensitive antennas are being set on fire. Listen to them. They're quite correct right now. And your intuition is becoming stronger, dreams become more vivid, and you're gonna start understanding certain patterns that logic alone cannot, it cannot like be fully explained. So, because it's also with the South Node, you might release a lot of hidden fears, self sabotaging habits, a lot of emotional burdens from the past. This is like a very big ignition within your aura, like your auratic field, or your aura, or like your energetic imprint that you leave onto other people as well. There's like a reboot happening within like the spiritual hard disk. That is like the best way I can explain it. So this is actually a very sensitive one. And the 12th house can also be about final endings, combined with the fourth, of course, as well. But this is definitely, you're going to get maybe some news of someone that is in the hospital. That might also be the case. The 12th house rules over hospitals. So eclipses there can definitely trigger that energy, you guys. And of course, yeah, Jupiter is the ruler of your seventh house. Maybe it's your partner. Mercury rules over your, yeah, over you. It's your chart ruler. That is also so profound. Your chart ruler, Mercury, is also co-present within the sign of Leo. So in your 12th house, makes you even more reflective and aware of what's been happening beneath the surface. So it's definitely going to expose some unhealthy pattern that can even be connected to work, because it makes an opposition to Pluto in the sixth house. Maybe you need to confront something that has been affecting your well-being, that is connected to your job, and it's something that you're in denial about, that you're going to need to face in some kind of way. So if we then look at the lunar eclipse for my fellow Virgo risings, that will be in the seventh house. Okay, you guys have been going, especially for the past 3 years, through such a difficult energy that is connected to partnerships and long-term commitment and marriage and all of that. That is going to be like the final big bang that is going to wrap that energy up. And this is definitely John says, I have learned to be aware of Virgo women. Just saying, Astrid. Well, John, that is so funny, because I know you're either Scorpio rising and a Capricorn sun, or vice versa. So yeah, if you have either Virgo qualities or Scorpio qualities, then sometimes you can hyperfixate fixate on certain stuff, and you might have a little bit more difficulties about letting go of control, and you want to make sure you have your ducks in a row, but sometimes you can be overly critical or overly obsessive towards something, or like hyper fixate on the small stuff. And it's just so funny that that comes from you, John. And I think it's very cool that you are mentioning this, so thank you for sharing. All right. So, Virgo, the full moon lunar eclipse in your seventh house, that is definitely triggering a lot of stuff, and like a very big culmination and release that is connected to relationships, marriage, also your clients, and all of the business partnerships that you're in, as well. And if you work with a therapist or a financial advisor, or like, yeah, an astrologer, then it also has an implication on them. So, yeah, if your relationship has been on rocky grounds, then that is going to see a turning point. If you're single, you can enter a commitment, because after this lunar eclipse, the difficult Pisces energy has been lifting for the past 6 months for sure, but now there's like a full release. So, can definitely also reveal something about another person that you previously like did not fully understand, or something might happen in the life of your partner as well. And with Sun Mercury in your first house, you're not going to be able to, yeah, you're not going to be able to disappear or to be in denial about certain partnership dynamics. And if they expect too much for you, you're not going to be the one that is going to be able to repair the relationship like only by yourself. No, it needs to be reciprocal, and there's going to be a spotlight on whether that's the case or not. So good luck, my dear Virgo. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So, Libra, the solar eclipse is igniting your 11th house in Leo. That is the house of friendships, communities, but also your audience. Think about social media. Think about your long term goals. It's also like the house where we get the payout of all of the work that we put in into the 10th house. So, that is definitely, it's so funny, John. John says good memory. I was correct about his rising and his sun sign. It's so special, you guys, because my moon in Pisces, like, and also my Mercury in Pisces, if I look at someone's chart even once, I kind of remember it. It's very strange. I cannot explain it. But ask me what I have been eating yesterday, and I probably won't be able to tell you. So, yeah, I have a good memory, but only on certain topics in life. It's kind of weird and fascinating. All the Pisces energy, I cannot explain it. But Libra, the solar eclipse in your 11th house, that can definitely be a new beginning within a new group, within a new community. Can also be a lot of expansion within your professional network. So, this is definitely very good to start a new collaboration with people who are very like-minded, who are very creative, people who share your vision. And with Jupiter there, it's like your audience or your social reach is growing considerably right now, and there can be an important invitation, a new friendship, or a new group project that can connect you with a very important person, or a new opportunity that is going to open up unexpected doors for you. Your chart ruler, Venus, is of course within its home sign. So it's in your sign. Venus is in Libra. This is so cool for my dear Libras. And it's sextiling Mercury, trining Uranus, trining Jupiter, trining Pluto, opposing Neptune. This is good news for Libras. If you're looking for love, then you might definitely find it within a friend group. I think some friend is gonna like hook you up, or like introduce you to, like, hook you up was like not the right word to choose, but yeah, that can also be the case. But definitely it's like the, yeah. And there is a very big energy where friends can introduce you to a partner, or a partner invites you into their new friend group, and something gets expanded. So that is definitely, yeah, very good news for you, my Libra. And Venus trine Pluto, oh, powerfully for romantic connections and attractions, and the trine to Uranus, unexpected things coming up. Opposition to Neptune, rose-colored glasses, and this is definitely very positive energy for you, my dear Libra. If we then look at the lunar eclipse, then that will fall in your sixth house. And that is one that is going to be a bit more difficult for you than the solar eclipse because it falls in the house of stress, job, health and well being, daily routines, things coming up out of the blue. This eclipse wants you to release something that is having an effect on your immune system and like your health and well-being. So a certain work or work situation or like something within the job office space might reach a conclusion. You can leave a job, you can complete a certain demanding project. You are also going to probably recognize that your schedule is no longer sustainable and you might need to release like the overburning within that section of your chart. And it's also going to reveal how stress has been affecting your physical and emotional health. So, and because it squares the Uranus in the ninth house, then there's like some kind of new belief that kind of disrupts your routine or your schedule, and you might need to reorganize your schedule very quickly. The Sun and Mercury in your 12th are also putting a very big emphasis or focus on sleep, solitude, and recovering, than like going in full burnout mode. So take some extra rest if you feel that you need to. We have Scorpio sun, moon, or rising. All right, my dear Scorpio, the solar eclipse will be happening in your 10th house. And I'm sorry if I'm like a little bit slower with my words. It's 6:40 p.m. for me here. It's actually dinner time, and I didn't eat enough before starting the forecast. So I feel like a diesel engine that is like about to, it's like a diesel engine without like diesel in it anymore. I should have eaten a little bit more before I started the show. So I'm sorry, you guys, if things are a little bit slower today, or if I have to think a little bit more on my words, or if I say a million times. I'm sorry for that. So, Scorpio, this eclipse for you, the solar eclipse, will be in your 10th house, and the 10th house is the house of career, reputation, leadership. It's also public visibility, and it can definitely bring like a major new professional beginning. It can be about a promotion, or you can even change careers or launch a new business. You might even become self employed. This is so positive. And with Jupiter in the 10th, you receive bigger or greater recognition more easily, and you might get help from a very important and influential person that is going to support you along the way, or some kind of influential person can place you like higher within society, or you might be placed before a much larger audience than you were expecting. um some of you with the sound note there are gonna like release old ways of how you look at ambition and how you want to present yourself in a public kind of way. Something is being changed within that, and you're gonna start to look at success totally differently. So maybe you're gonna be met with how all of the success in your life is actually no longer satisfying you, and you might want to make a new start within that. So this might also be about a leader at your work, like a boss or an authority figure that could leave or be renewed or some kind of way. There might definitely be a lot of changes within your organization or within like the direction of your professional path. Then your chart ruler Mars will enter the sign of Cancer in your ninth house. So a lot of action, a lot of energy is being casted into the section that rules over travel, learning something new, publishing, legal matters. If you are trapped in like some kind of legal affair, then it might honestly be bad news for you, because Mars is going to square Neptune and then later Saturn, and it's squaring Venus still, and that's a little bit more difficult if you're one of the Scorpios that got the stinger out, and if you're in like certain legal troubles, then that might be a little bit more troublesome. Other than that, it might be very good. Be careful while traveling with your health and your well-being. Mars in the 11th, in the ninth house, squaring Saturn more towards like the end of the month, That can definitely be like some kind of injury or sickness while traveling, or some kind of like, yeah, difficulty within your belief system that affects your job and how you operate with colleagues and all of that. There might be a little bit more difficult energy being found within that. If we then look at the lunar eclipse, then the lunar eclipse for my dear Scorpios are actually in the fifth house. John says, John, can you explain it a little bit better? Rising, does this mean it is something that develops in true existence? I do not understand your question, John. Can you reframe it, please? Thank you. All right. So the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces in your fifth house, that is positive because it's a release, it's a culmination, it's a completion of some sorts, and it's in the fifth house of romance, creativity. It's also about pleasure and also about children. So, a relationship might reach a turning point. Maybe you feel a new attraction towards someone new. Maybe you receive a lot of clarity about someone that you have been dating. Or maybe you're going to release a certain situationship if you're involved in that, because you're going to be met with reality rather than fantasy. And maybe some of you are going to release some kind of spiritual connection that does not get grounded within like the earthly realm. That can definitely also be the case here. So um if you're creative and you make things with your hands, then that might also take an unexpected new direction. Maybe you have been putting a lot of effort into a project and now you're finally ready to share it. So some of you are also going to become pregnant, or your children are going to tell you that they're pregnant. This is very important also for something that happens in the life of your child. There can be a milestone, but with the moon squaring Uranus in the eighth house, there is definitely something unexpected that comes up with like shared finances and intimacy. And like intimacy and trust can definitely complicate a certain romantic situation. um Maybe you're attracted to someone new and now you might to divide assets and split up. That can also be the case for some of you. Or there might also be unexpected expenses that could involve your children. That is also a possibility here with this square. So yeah, good luck, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius and Moon Rising. What's up, my dear Sagittarius? This is going to be such a cool eclipse for you, my dear Sag, because it's in a fellow fire sign. It's going to trine your Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Jupiter, your chart ruler, is also like accompanied with the eclipse within the ninth house, trining your Sun, Moon, or Rising as well. Oh my god, this is like as good as it gets, you guys. You guys are gonna need to like put some comments here within the next couple of weeks, and you gotta keep me like up to date on what's happening in your life, because like I'm not curious, but I like to know everything, just like you guys. So this is so positive. And oh, Patrice, that is for you. That is so cool, Patrice. That is like a lot of good news here. Ninth house, that is the house of like divine protection. It's about traveling, education, higher wisdom, or like higher knowledge, and being able to tap into like the higher realms, higher frequencies. It's also the house of God or the house of religion. I like to call it the house of the universe instead of the house of religion, but that's just me. Because the ninth house, it's different for everyone, because it's about our personal beliefs and about the beliefs, like what we think is possible. And it's definitely also a very spiritual house. So this is like an spiritual awakening. You are going to be like expanding your world view. You might travel internationally. You might start a course, and that is going to open up your worldview. You might publish something or bump into like someone who can market your work. And this is definitely very good for like committing to a new spiritual or philosophical kind of path. And Jupiter is at home in the ninth house. If you see things going south, do not worry. Divine intervention is gonna like intervene at the very last moment in time, and you're gonna be like saved from all the harshness, all the difficulties, and you're definitely having this protectionate blanket around you. So the ninth house is actually also the house of the teacher, or like the mentor, or like the guru. And these people could open up an important new door for you. Or if you're a teacher yourself, then that can definitely also be an entire new start in which your job is getting amplified, or like your students are becoming like way more or bigger people that you can teach to, that is being amplified as well. If you're involved in immigration or legal matters, that is all very protected as well. And if you want to share your message, then you're definitely going to reach a wider audience as well. So actually, it's all good. It's all beautiful. It's like you're going to see. Let me know and keep me up to date. If we look at the lunar eclipse, then, and also still with Jupiter, your chart ruler in the ninth house, that is going to bring so many unexpected new opportunities that are going to make you so happy. And this is definitely also trying to ignite your creative power. And the only thing you cannot do right now is to become overly confident, or just assume that everything will be fine without putting effort into it. No, that is like the south node in Leo. We need to let go of being too overly confident. And I know Sagittarius can sometimes be a little bit overly confident, or sometimes they cannot totally see the little details in certain situations. Sometimes they can miss a little piece of important information that then can like lead towards like something big happening. So be a little bit more mindful, you that you do not lose track of that. Also, the lunar eclipse in the fourth house. A lot of you guys are gonna move because the fourth house deals with family, home, property, your emotional foundations. Patrice, Patrice says rose-colored glasses are thick. Lol. Yes, that is what I'm trying to word a little bit for. And Lakeside Laura says my husband is a Sag sun. Of course, Laura, with your triple fire, your husband is a Sag. Definitely good times. Oh my God, that is such a beautiful combination between the two of you. And for the lunar eclipse for you guys, there is some kind of living situation or family chapter that is reaching a conclusion. You could move, you could sell a property, you could complete and finally wrap up a long-standing like renovation, or some kind of family burden. You can release yourself from that, but do not like freak out if certain emotions that are very much connected to your childhood or to a certain parent are gonna like resurface here. Maybe you need to let go of certain old family patterns, and also look at how your parents have actually influenced your decisions, and if they are still having an effect on that. Now, this eclipse squares Uranus from your seventh house. So there's going to be an unexpected thing that is going to come up with your partner that could affect your home. Maybe something disruptive happens within the life of your partner. Maybe they have a big breakthrough. Maybe they feel a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more rebelliousness. That can definitely be the case. Maybe some of you are going to have to move because of your relationship. It might like there can be a big change in the life of your partner, and that might require you to relocate. That is definitely also the that can be the case. What else? Sun and Mercury in your 10th house, that could highlight the tension between career and home, and having to make some readjustments in that, or having to rebalance your work and home life. So do that if you feel that you need to. Good luck, my dear Sag. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. My dear Cappies, how are you doing and feeling? This eclipse is going to be an quincunx sign away from you. So that is a bit more difficult than other signs. And it's also in the eighth house, which is pretty intense stuff. But you Cappies, you have a lot of stability. You are very grounded. You're very mature, very responsible. If you behave in all of the beautiful Capricorn traits, then you have nothing to be afraid about. Eighth house, it is, however, a more mystical, deep, occult kind of house. It's about like merging with other people. It's about shared finances, can be about intimacy, depth, it can also be about inheritances and psychological transformations. So this is definitely kicking off like a whole new chapter that is going to involve money that you share with a partner. So that is going to be pretty important for you, Patrice, and for all the other Cappy risings. So look at your taxes. Honestly, you guys, eclipses in the eighth house, they might bring up some stuff with taxes. If you want to apply for a loan, you're going to get it. This is good and positive for investments. Definitely in gold. Wink, wink. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just like throwing it out here. Can also be bringing up stuff in regards to insurance payments, inheritances, financial support, your mortgage, your loans, your spousal support, as an example. It's like everything that is a bit out of your hands that is connected to finances. Um, Jupiter is in the eighth house, expands all of that. Your partner's income might be increased here with that as well, or you might gain a new access to like new resources that are going to help you progress and move forward in life. With the south node there, it's important for you to like eliminate the debt and to release like all of the financial dependence on other people, or if you are within an unhealthy emotional, sexual, or financial entanglement with another person, then you might need to end that. And Mars is going to enter your seventh house of partnerships. That there can be some battles or frequent bickery in regards to shared finances. For some of you who are married, that is, or that it has the possibility to manifest in that way. Definitely also because there are squares on Mars for the entire month of August. So yeah, your partner might be a little bit more passive aggressive towards you. Maybe he's like very frustrated, or she is maybe a little bit like moody or crabby. You're definitely going to notice that. Try to not to react to that too much. Your chart ruler Saturn just went retrograde in Aries in your fourth house, bringing up a lot of things from the past that is connected to your family. It can be about reprioritizing your family obligations and looking how you can release some stress within that. If we then look at the lunar eclipse for you, my dear Cappy, then that will happen in the third house for you. So that is in a sextile sign away from you. That is actually helpful. There is an opportunity here being gifted to you. And the third house is actually the house of communication, but it's also the house of like your siblings, contracts, everything that is signed on paper. Can also be about your neighbors, and maybe the neighbors are going to move away from you, and maybe that's going to be an energetic release from your home. That can definitely be the case for some of you. Some of you might also need to let go of a vehicle, or there's some kind of like road trip that can be very mystical, and like really your spirit guides that are going to be guiding you on that road trip. That can definitely also come up for some of you. But mostly this is going to bring an important conversation, and someone is going to give you some piece of missing information, and with that you're going to be able to reach an important conclusion. You can also wrap up a course, sign a document, or finally say something that has like remained unspoken, or that was like lingering between the other realms, and now you're finally going to have the courage to say it. You're going to notice a very big shift in the life of your siblings. There could be like unexpected news that is going to alter your schedule or your plans. The third house is the house of busyness. And because the eclipse squares Uranus from the sixth house, there might be some unexpected change in your work schedule. Maybe you need to take a little bit more, better care for your health, because your mind is going to feel on fire, and you're very like open to the mystical energy or the mystical information of the universe. And during this time, it might have a bigger effect on your nervous system. Maybe some of you are going to need a little bit more like a time out or time off, or feeling like you need to unwind your mind. With Uranus in the sixth house, there is definitely going to be something that needs like service. And it might be your car, honestly, but it might be in more than that. It can be a technical problem. There can be issues in transport. There might be a sudden expense that disrupts your routine in some kind of way. If you want to sign a contract, read it very, very carefully. Verify all of the details, especially if you're gonna be traveling under this energy. Honestly, with the square to Uranus and Mercury and Sun in your ninth, there's definitely like a triggering to go traveling, or a kind of like a need to expand your horizon, but it could be disrupted in some kind of way. So be careful with that. Good luck, Capricorn. We have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, my dear Aquarius, how are you doing now with the North Node within your sign? That is definitely the next 18 months are going to be a very distant reinvention for all of my Aquariuses. So the solar eclipse in Leo will take place in your opposing sign. Very important, my dear Aqua. It's in your seventh house of partnerships. So if you're married, if you have a lot of clients, if you work with them, it's also about your business partnerships. So this is triggering a totally new relationship cycle. If you're single, you're gonna meet someone significant, and he or she is gonna be a source of big luck to you, and expansion and protection, and oh, he or she is gonna be wise and outspoken, and you're going to have a lot of good communication with one another. And if you're already in within a partnership, then it could even move towards like deeper commitment, or maybe some of you are going to go down on their knee asking someone to marry them. That could definitely be like the case. It's like happiness and expansion and putting that on paper in some kind of way. That can definitely be the case for all of you. If it's not that, then there could be a new client that opens up like a total big new door for you. Collaborations, a therapist could help you, a business partner can enter your life, and it's like about the other person. If you are already married, there can also be a lot of happiness and expansion happening within the life of your partner, so always think about that as well. But it's like another person is gonna gift you opportunities that you with yourself would not have like been able to access alone. So some of you are in a relationship and are gonna meet someone else. The South Node might also be a release of a current partnership and a new one coming in. So the South Node also wants you to release like the need for attracting very dramatic, unavailable, attention-seeking partners. Keep that in mind. But with Jupiter in the seventh, there's going to be a lot of generosity and support that is going to be arriving through other people. So that is going to be very, very important. Yeah, Laura, respecting space is always good. That is so, so true. And hi, Tammy. All right. So also, your chart ruler Uranus is in the fifth house. So, still, look, Uranus is trining Venus. If you were on a journey or in a spiritual retreat or within like religious kind of like environments, like a church, a temple, monastery, all of that. It's funny what I'm going to say now because I said the word monastery, but you could actually meet someone that you fall head over heels in love with. It's probably not going to be the monastery, but you never know. So yeah, spiritual places that actually can open up new doors to love for you as well, or finding a lot of love in your connection with the universe, and with being so in love with the universe that can attract the right partner onto your path. And we know you, my dear Aquas, you are a little bit strange, out of the blue, out of the ordinary. You're gonna meet them in a very like yeah, eccentric kind of way, very like unexpected, out of the blue. So that is positive, my dear Aquarius. If we then look at the lunar eclipse for you, that will be in the second house. Be very, very careful with like unexpected expenses. That is going to be very, very important for you. And oh, Patrice says, I just scheduled my reading with you on the 9th of September. Excited. I'm an Aquarius moon. That's so cool, Patrice. I'm so happy to see you on the 9th of September. And it's a double nine. So we're definitely probably going to be talking about something majorly that is going to be wrapped up in your life. The end of the cycle. I'm going to take a sip. 9. I'm learning so much from Lana and the numerology. After her reading, it fascinates me so much. All right, to continue, my dear Aquarius, and lunar eclipse in your second house, that is the house of your income and also your possessions and your values and your self-worth. So there is like a very big financial chapter that is meeting a turning point, and you could actually change your source of income. You could leave a job behind, you could change your prices, you could like eliminate certain expenses. Look at where there are hidden expenses, because you have Pisces on the second house cusp. So there are like certain leaks within your income, within your expenses, like certain, how do you say it? Certain, if you have like subscription towards something and you're not using it anymore, and it's like in the back, just like siphoning your money and your energy by that as well. Look at where you can cancel out certain ongoing payments that are actually not beneficial anymore. If you if you buy something under this aspect, you're gonna need to keep the receipt, you guys. Um, there might be something that might need to be returned in some kind of way. That can be the case here. But um, with Jupiter ruling the eclipse from the seventh house, there might also be something coming up with like a financial support from a partner or an investment opportunity through a business partner. Or your partner's circumstances, seventh house, can affect your money situation in a good or negative kind of way. It depends on your own natal chart and how your natal chart is affected by the eclipse. And with the square to like Uranus from the fifth, it brings a lot of unpredictability. I would not gamble with money during this time. You're gonna probably face a loss if you were to do that. There might also be loss of money through a child, through speculative investments. Be a little bit more mindful about that. Definitely avoid gambling, and definitely avoid gambling with resources that you cannot afford to lose. If you're gonna do that, then it's gonna be gone. I like know that for a fact to be true with this energy. So there might be an opportunity, but the outcome is not gonna be guaranteed. So keep that in mind and be extra like careful with your finances. Good luck, my dear Aquarius. We have, last but not least, my dear Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have this eclipse in your sixth house in Leo. Sixth house deals with work, health, habits, routines, and also your daily responsibilities. So this is opening up a whole new chapter in your daily life. You could start a new job, you could take on a different role in the office, you could meet new colleagues, colleagues coming, colleagues going. Maybe that is gonna be bringing in the fact that you need to reorganize your schedule in some kind of way, but something is going to change in how you go out and about in life on a daily basis. And with Jupiter in the sixth, let me like know in the chat, you guys, are you like bombarded with work? Because when I had Jupiter in the sixth house, oh my dear Lord, that was a lot to deal with. So yeah, opportunities can expand, but so can the workload. And yes, you can receive a lot more clients and a lot of like greater responsibility and a new role that allows you to be like the wise counselor or the guide or the mystic, or like there's a lot of inspiration and creativity within your daily routine right now. And it's definitely also a very powerful time to start a new health or like fitness routine. If you go to the gym, then that can lead towards massive health benefits here. If you are like a practitioner yourself, or if you do treatments, then that is also very positive. You're going to get a lot of extra work from your clients. And if you need a treatment yourself, then you might find the perfect practitioner or the perfect treatment at the perfect time. And that is definitely going to improve your well being. With the south node here as well, you need to let go of like an unhealthy habit or an unsustainable workload, because you cannot like continue to say yes to every responsibility. No. And if colleagues are trying to burden you with work, then you need to say no. I know that is very difficult, but you're definitely going to see some kind of change with a colleague or an employee. If you're self employed, you can find the perfect employee, and then you can give them a higher workload. But it can also be in regards to pets. A change with the pet, a new pet, a pet being of great guidance and great help, and like getting a new pet as an energy healer. That can also be having a very big, good support on your health and well-being. Life is definitely getting more productive, more fulfilling, but only when the daily habits kind of support your health rather than like consume all of your energy. So make sure that you do not get like overwhelmed by work, because Jupiter, it is your chart ruler. That is also why I'm highlighting it a little bit more. And Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter on the 15th of August. And that is definitely going to bring some very good news involving a job, a client, a health matter, a project, or a conversation with a colleague might open up a new door, or you might receive a very important and good news from them. If you then look at the lunar eclipse, very important, you are the other star of today's show, my dear Pisces, because we have a full moon lunar eclipse in your sign. And it's like the last one of the past 2 years. So, yes, finally, it has not been easy, I know, definitely, because we only had full moon lunar eclipses in Pisces. We never saw a solar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. So you were like the sign that only had to deal with constant release, constant completion, constant vulnerability, constant surrender, constant letting go. And you didn't really got like a new start of the universe. So I know a lot of Pisces have been felt emotionally drained a little bit and felt like, oh my God, this is like a lot to deal with, especially the last 14 years with Neptune in your sign, and then the last 3 years with Saturn in your sign. Now, luckily, you are wrapping it up. So, yeah, you're getting like your master degree of the universe. And look, Laura says, my Pisces daughter is moving out at the beginning of September. Full moon lunar eclipses, especially when it's conjunct your own moon, can indicate a destined move. Now, for Laura's daughter, it's conjunct her sun, but it's definitely also like a whole new identity that is being triggered here. So, very striking. That is definitely like I have a Pisces moon. I'm moving in September. So yeah, it is very destined if you have Pisces qualities to, or Pisces planets or angles, to have a very, very big move or shift happening by the end of August into September, that is going to last for the 6 months that are going to follow, because the energy is getting wrapped up now. Everything that has been going on for the last 2 years is now seeing a release and a full culmination. So that is definitely yeah, look, Dana. Hi, Dana says, I am a Pisces sun, and yes, my workload is getting crazy. Draw boundaries. Like, I'm an Aries. When Jupiter was in my sixth house, and they were like, do you want to do that? I'm like, no, I have enough to do. But for Pisces, it's way more difficult to draw boundaries. It's not so easy to say no. So this is a test of how you believe like in yourself and your worthiness, or like your productivity is not like entangled with your worthiness. You need to separate those two, otherwise you're going to drown in work. That is going to be very, very important. Dana also says, perfect, I just made an appointment with a shamanic healer, so it will be a treatment. That is so beautiful. You're gonna gain a lot by that. Very, very cool. And Lakeside Laura says 1212. That is also cool. And it's cool, Laura, because Pisces is the 12th sign. It's also cool and intertwined. It's going to be a very mystical lunar eclipse for everyone, honestly. So when you have it in the first house, that is in regards to your identity, your body, your appearance, and your personal direction. So it's a very big like personal culmination, and like the version of you that existed up until now is going to fade away, and the new, more mystical, enchanted version of yourself is going to step forward. So you might change your appearance, your priorities, your goals, your ambition. It's going to have an effect on your home situation, on your relationship, on your career as well, and definitely your family, because it squares Uranus from the fourth house. There's going to be a certain sudden development involving home and family that is going to accelerate your personal change. And look at Laura's daughter that is moving. look at me at the Pisces moon that is moving. There is like an altering within the living arrangements, or there can also be something within the family boundaries that shifts as well. And you guys are already so super sensitive. This eclipse is going to make you even more emotionally and physically sensitive. You need to rest and protect your nervous system, trying to like remain forcing yourself to be productive in some kind of way. For some Pisces risings especially, there can be a lot of special and things involving the body. That can either be a pregnancy or a completion of a major health journey or something coming up with your feet. Pisces rules over the feet and also over the pineal gland. So something is getting like accelerated within that as well. And Dana says another test. I had enough of those lately. I can imagine as a Pisces sun being incarnated in this lifetime, especially the last 14 years, have not been a walk in the park. Now, after this eclipse, things are going to become more easy. That is definitely the case. And definitely also next year with Jupiter in your seventh house and yeah, opposing your sign and yeah, things are gonna get better, you guys. This eclipse is like taking away a lot of also grief and sadness, and it's gonna boost your sensitivity and your psychicness. So that is gonna be very cool, you guys. All right. With all of that being said, you guys, do not forget to tune in with Beyond Harmony and Elena's beautiful meditation here, and also Coco. The Coco show is also just busy. Am I? Yes, the Coco show is happening right now. So go say hi to Elena and also to Coco. And of course, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube and also on Rumble. And if you guys want to book in a session, then you can find that at the Beyond Mystic consultation page. Thank you guys so much for being with me here today. And I am going to wrap the show up as I'm like immensely hungry. I should have eaten a bit more. I was not expecting this, but yeah, I'm going to eat some chicken. Like I love chicken, and it's gonna sound a little bit funny probably to end the show in this way, and not in a spiritual kind of way. But I'm like just like so hungry, and as an Aries, when I get hungry, then I become very very dangerous. So. I'm gonna wrap up the show. I want to thank each and every one of you so much for still being with me here today. And this month of August is definitely going to be a very big one with the eclipse cycle. Enjoy, have fun, let your hair down, look at what makes your heart sing. If there's a little bit of drama, it's the Leo sign. I would say enjoy the drama. Just do not put oil onto the fire. But if people are a little bit more dramatic or behaving a little bit more of like in a flairful kind of way, more charismatic, they're going to be showing themselves a bit more. And if we stay humble and let people in their light, let them shine, then it's all going to be fine. And we're going to have a good time, you guys. So take care. Love all of you guys as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone. And cheers. I will see you back soon with another video about Venus in Libra. So thank you guys so much. Bye bye.